radio, glowing magic transistor radio, glowing magic transistor.
Hello, YouTube and YouTubettes. Welcome to another Beach Boys album review. Today I'm going to review Still Cruisin', released on August 28th, 1989 on Capitol Records. Producers included B.Wilson, Terry Melcher, Al Albert Cabrera, and Tony Morgan. This was kind of a bunch of songs that were kind of released before in different projects, and they sort of put this album together, I guess, because they had a hit song on their hands, which we will get to. Their first number one hit in over 20 years at that point. And so they figured, well, maybe we should make an album and put something together. So that's kind of the idea of this. This should be a fairly short review because there's only 7 new songs and 3 of the old songs that I'm not going to spend any time reviewing. The album cover looks like a portrayal of a part of a red sports car with 2 flags on it, and it's kind of boring to me as an album cover, and it doesn't really stick out. It's kind of like the Carl and the Passion So Tough album a little bit, and I give the album cover a 6 out of 10. Now on to the songs.
Come on, let's cruise, you got nothing to lose, so come on, let's cruise, you got nothing to lose.
Track number 1 is called Still Cruisin' After All These Years, written by Mike Love and Terry Melcher. Lead vocal is mostly by Mike Love, with a little bit of Al Jardine and Carl Wilson as well. Bruce Johnston has a quick moment as well. This is a very catchy song. It's got a great hook. I think that's the strength of the song. The come on, let's cruise you got. That's the strength of the song for sure. I also like the filter on Mike Love's voice, and it's kind of cool. The lyrics are kind of not very thoughtful, very low on the poetic side. And the production is kind of not my taste. I guess it's very 80s, but I only gave it a 6 in production, but overall, I give this song a 5.6. Track number 2 is called Somewhere Near Japan, written by John Phillips, Mike Love, Bruce Johnston, and Terry Melcher. John Phillips, of course, from the Mamas and Papas. And Terry Melcher, his name pops up quite a bit. He was a producer in the 60s for the Byrds and other groups. Lead vocals are by Mike Love mostly, with a little bit of Carl Wilson, Al Jardine, and Bruce Johnston as well. Anyway, this song is a nice song. It's pretty. It's not that catchy. No weakness to this song, but there's really no strength. Everything gets a 5 or 6 on my scoring. And I think the lyrics are a little more thoughtful. It's not just about living in the past or stereotype Beach Boys lyrics. But it's a nice song, but it's never on my favorites lists. I give this one a 5.4. Track number 3 is called Island Girl, written by Al Jardine. Lead vocals are by Carl Wilson, Al Jardine, and Mike Love. I love the vocals at the beginning. It's just, Beach Boys at their best. And then the song starts. I will have to say that I usually love Carl Wilson's voice, but the way he sings this is kind of silly. And I'm not a big fan of his voice on here. After you get past that intro, the song is kind of boring and kind of that cheesy island kind of music with the metal drums, or whatever you call those, steel drums or whatever they're called. But my favorite lead vocal is actually Mike Love's on the bridge, and it's a little prettier of a melody and all that stuff. It's a catchy song, got a nice hook, but not much else going for it. I give this song a 5.6. Track number 4 is In My Car, written by B.Wilson. This one's grown on me. I think I hated it when I first heard it, but it's got key moments to it. I'd have to say that there's a live version that he does around this time, 1989, 1990, I'm not sure, that I like better. There's something, the melody here is but live he does it more like like a bass, but anyway, I just like the way he performed it there. But it's kind of a quirky song, very catchy, and this song gets a 6.4.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you.
Track number 5 is called Kokomo, written by John Phillips, Mike Love, Terry Melcher, and Scott McKenzie. This was originally written by, I don't know if it was released as a single or not, just by John Phillips from Mamas and Papas. But Mike Love later added the hook to the song, Aruba, Jamaica, Ooh, I Wanna Take You section, which I think is the best part of the song. Carl's singing also adds to this. Obviously a very catchy song, a great hook. A lot of people hate this song for some reason. Maybe it was overplayed. I don't hate it. I think it's a very solid commercial song. It's not cheesy to me. It's just, and it's not, nor is it, artistic, but I think it's good for what it is. And this song gets a 6.8. Track number 6 is Wipeout, written by Bob Berryhill, Pat Connolly, Jim Fuller, and Ron Wilson. Obviously, this was originally an instrumental surf song in the 60s or 50s. I don't know what year the original came out. But now vocals have been added to it and rapping by the Fat Boys. And I'm not sure officially which group this came out on first. I think it came out as a Fat Boys song and then later put on here, but I could be wrong. But basically the Beach Boys needed some street cred and the Fat Boys needed some beach cred. Interesting note that I heard about the Fat Boys before I heard about the Beach Boys, and when I was a kid, a friend of mine introduced me to them, and it was also my introduction to rap. Anyway, so after I became a Beach Boys fan later, I'd forgotten about the Fat Boys from years before, and I was delighted to discover this great gem. Very catchy, a bit of a cover, something fun, and it's better than future Beach Boys rap songs in which Mike Love and B.Wilson each have a different song that they try to rap on. So at least they got guys that really have rap skills to do the rapping. It does lower because it's a cover, but I give it a 5.8. Track number 7 is Make It Big by Mike Love, Terry Melcher, and Bill House. I really like this song. Lead vocal is by Carl Wilson. He does a great job once again singing the lead, puts a lot of soul into it. I love the keyboards to this song. There's just something about this song. It's got a little bit more art to it than most of the songs. And it's kind of a cheesy lyric, but still one of my favorites. I gave it a 7.0. The album flow is, I gave it a 7 out of 10. The last 3 songs on the album are old songs. I Get Around, Wouldn't It Be Nice, and California Girls. I didn't really spend too much time thinking about it. I just gave them all 5s. It's like kind of lazy to stick 3 hits from the 20 years before on the end of an album. I mean, there were songs they could have used. There was the California Dreamin' cover that they did. I think there was some other songs out there they could have used from the 80s. But Instead, they added these 3 at the end, which I think was kind of dumb. So for that, I gave them a 7 in album flow. This is probably one of the first albums I heard by the Beach Boys, other than Greatest Hits. And I think I heard a couple of other albums before this, but this was a hit. You know, obviously Kokomo was a #1 song, and it was a soundtrack for a Tom Cruise movie that I have never seen. It looks kind of lame. The movie's called Cocktail, I think. So, and then I think several of these other songs were from movie soundtracks and things. So now I will pull out my handy dandy computer and calculate my formula. And this album gets a 5.88. To end this video, enjoy my awesome rapping skills.
My name is Murray and I'm the man. I hit Brian's ear with the palm of my hand. You've gotta syncopate it still, or else your career will go downhill. My name is Landy and I'm the man. I control B.Wilson with the pills in my hand. It's a rule, I can't explain it to ya. In my field I'm a genius, booyah! Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.